ready with me. Get ready with me. How do y'all do this? Get ready with me while I talk about the unpopular beauty opinions that I have. I gotta give it to y'all. That takes some time. Hi guys, welcome back to Boss Girlified. It is your girl Tima, and today we are talking about my very unpopular beauty opinions. While I use a full face of e.l.f. because, I mean, they just eat that bad. Let's start off on a strong note. Baby hairs and edges are so cute to me. It gives bohemian princess. I love a good little sticky bang. Everyone can have their like personal preferences, but like to comment on someone else's preference, how does how someone else do their edges affect you personally?
Oh, halfway.
I didn't even write that one down. That was just off the dome. And the edge like hatred, I will never understand. There's like advice where it's like, girl, if you don't want your makeup to look cakey, use this product, or so on and so forth. If they're a friend and if it's solicited, but don't be given unsolicited advice about shit that literally does not affect you. Like, there's no right or wrong when it comes to edges. Just like there's not really a right or wrong when it comes to makeup too. Like that's a whole nother thing where people are like always like, oh my god, like this is the right type of makeup, this is the type of makeup that'll attract boys, this is the type of makeup that like, girl, shut up. Do the makeup that suits you, that you like, that fits your face, that fits your aesthetic, that fits your clothes. Next unpopular opinion. Of course, I'm using the e.l.f. Power Grip, but this is the pink one. This one actually has the niacinamide in it. No luxury beauty product is worth it, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Luxury services, maybe, especially with skincare. Like, girl, there's so many other alternatives that just will clear your skin. There is no reason a single skincare product should be more than like, I would say $150. And I feel like the same thing with makeup too. Next, I'm gonna do my brows. I'm gonna be using the brow lift while I let my primer set on my face a little bit. I saw this video recently go viral of this girl complaining about how her makeup was done. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But the whole story time was just so like incredibly dense for no reason. But then she was like, oh, and then she proceeded to use like, drugstore on my face. Like, girl, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, girl, you're asleep. Because hello. Drugstore makeup is some of the best I've ever used, and it's so cheap and efficient. There are a couple of like maybe foundations and stuff like that I could see the hype behind. I get it, like some things are just cute, you know what I mean, and you just kind of want to buy it for the aesthetic. Like Dior product, there's only a handful of things that I would buy that are luxury that like I would not cry myself to sleep at night because I wasted that money. This is kind of expanding on that, but Charlotte Tilbury is not that good. Y'all can fight me and drag me in the comments. I said what I said. Charlotte Tilbury is not all that. If you haven't watched my video about like comparing Charlotte Tilbury and their biggest op or rival, e.l.f., go watch that video. But like, it's okay, it works. I like their foundation, but their foundation does not match me. This was the only one that kind of matched my undertone. As you guys can see, it literally matches my undertone, but it's too light for my skin. That's just one thing. And then the contour, and there was just go watch the other video. Of course, I'm gonna have to use the e.l.f. Halo Glow, and that's just up to like personal preference with makeup products and like what works for you and what doesn't. Across the board, Charlotte is just truly not all that, like especially for it being more expensive. Honestly, the e.l.f. dupes eat so much more at a fraction of the price. I will say though, this one doesn't match my undertone as well, but it's my shade. So of course I'm gonna have to use the e.l.f. Camo Hydrating Satin Finish, and while I let that sit, I'm actually kind of cheating a little bit, but I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills. Am I gonna use it? Because I can't find it. Well, I'm gonna just use one of my eyeshadow palette. And while we're on the topic, eyeshadow is so slept on. You really just need you a good eyeshadow palette, some cream products like concealer, and then obviously like a powder. But girl, you can do your brows, you can do your lip liner. When I run out of products, I used to just not buy them. I would just like use my eyeshadow palette in the meantime and just like get accustomed to it. Let's save the planet a little bit. Let's be economically let's think about the economic status of the
Can we talk about like the political and economic state of the world right now?
let's just move on. No, but for real, if you're just starting out with makeup, Get you a good eyeshadow palette that has a good like range of neutrals, maybe a couple of shimmers. That's kind of why I miss Morphe so much, because when I first started doing makeup, I got me a good little Morphe palette. I want them to bring that back. Like, they had all types of different like colors and shimmers and mattes and like vibes that you could do so much with. It wasn't like the whole like everyday clean girl aesthetic. Like, that's fine, that's really fine. I've been doing my makeup a lot more like the clean girl type of vibe, but it's just like I want a little bit more range in my palette. I don't want to buy a palette with just mattes, you know what I mean? Like, it would be nice if more matte palettes had like shimmer or like darker shades or more unnatural shades. That's another one too. I wrote it on here. I was gonna kind of leave it out because like, I don't know, I'm not like super crazy about Morphe, but I am kind of sad about the decline of Morphe. They were such a like a fundamental part of when I first started doing makeup in 2016, like the cut creases, and like I miss Morphe, and especially the brushes, bro. Like, I'm literally using a Morphe brush right now, but they're just so like not like it anymore for some reason. But like Morphe brushes just eat. Morphe was truly an it girl in the makeup community. I'm gonna blend in my concealer because I feel like it's going to set down way too much. That's the only thing about this concealer. It's a little, you gotta work with it a little bit, especially if you use it with the power grip. Korean skincare is the best. I genuinely have not been able to find any other skincare brand or skincare like genre that has worked as well for me as like Korean skincare has. And it's so affordable. There was a visible difference when I first started using Korean skincare in my routine. And I had a skincare routine before I started using Korean skincare. So it's the Korean skincare that really helps me with my skin. There's so many options to choose from. Next, I'm going to conceal my brows with the e.l.f. Halo Glow. There is no right or wrong makeup technique, right or wrong makeup style. It's all up to you, and it's all up to your face, and it's all up to what works for you. That's the only thing that I don't miss about like the 2016 era of makeup, as much as I loved it so much. There was just like such a specific way to do makeup. And that's kind of why I like these like viral makeup trends and stuff, because you can try so many different techniques and just see what works for you and what doesn't. Like, there are certain makeup techniques, like, they just don't work for my face personally, and there are some that might work for me that might not work for you. But I feel like sometimes people on the internet kind of like try to police what everyone has to do, like especially when it comes to influencers and stuff. Like, I just get so icked out when I see people talking about like, ew, like I can never do my makeup like this, like, or ew, there's one classy way to do your makeup. It's giving I could never do makeup.
I'm so bad at makeup. I'm so bad at makeup. No, I could never. No, I give you so much credit for like caring about this and like being good at this. Like,
go sit in the corner and read a book. I'm using the Halo Glow Beauty Wand contour. Next, glass skin does not look greasy. I'm not gonna say I've never seen glass skin that looks greasy, but for the most part, like, there is no glass skin. Oh my god. We're gonna blend that all in. Like, I feel like most people who are claiming to have glass skin actually have glass skin, and it looks good. Like, it's dewy, it's glossy, it's fresh, it's clean, it's moisturized, it's hydrated. There's a very clear difference between greasy and glass skin, and honestly, it's kind of giving bitter. People who are like, oh my god, like, why is your skin greasy? Girl, you know their skin is not greasy. Like, be so for real. Soap brows eat down. It can never make me hate it. It might just be you.
You need to leave.
Oh. Ruh-roh. It's one of those things again where it's like, oh my god, like I can never do soap brows. Like, soap brows are so ugly. Are they ugly though? And again, I just want to reiterate this. You can have your own personal preference and opinion of what you want to do with your face. But to like call a whole trend of something like makeup that people do like ugly or just like not it is just like so lame to me. It will never not be lame to me, because it's like, girl, that's not you. Why do you care so much what somebody else does? Long nails are not unclassy, and I don't care what anybody says. No one will ever be able to convince me that long nails are unclassy. Like, it's one of those things too where it's like, oh, excuse me, oh my god, like if their job doesn't interfere with it, if their livelihood doesn't interfere with it, if it works for her, she absolutely the hell should do her nails that long. They're probably expensive as hell too, probably a lot more expensive than short nails. And for me personally, like a long nude almond nail, or like a long nude even like coffin shaped nail, or like tapered square, I haven't done that in a while, but like that eats down on me. Like me personally, it just gives everything it's supposed to give. By the way, I'm using the Perfect Powder Finish Powder HD by e.l.f. of course. But y'all will never make me hate long nails. Long does not automatically equal unclassy. If you can afford it, don't let people gaslight you into thinking that your self-care routine is unnecessary or extra. Now, me personally, I have a very specific self-care routine that's not too much to me, and it doesn't require a lot of money all of the time, but it also differs. Like sometimes I really want to like splurge a little bit, like go shopping and buy myself some new clothes or underwear or bras or like, you know, stuff like that, or even like home decor and like update stuff in my house and, you know, get some new skincare and order some stuff online and spend money, you know what I mean? But that's not always what skincare is for me, or self-care is for me personally. But if that's what it is for somebody else, like I just don't get judging them for that. Like I get it, like because some of these influencers especially, they be absolutely consuming and destroying the damn earth. Like you do not need those little, like those little, okay, this is one thing, those little tiny like sponges that people use, the disposable sponges that people use for their face, that blows my mind, because it's like, girl, you are literally wasting. That is such a waste. But it's not their fault, you know, it's these companies that made it like that. But you know, we're always consuming way more than we should in the West, and that's unfortunately not something that's gonna change by not consuming, because there are companies making it for a reason. You know what I mean? Like people are buying into this stuff for a reason. So companies are going to continue to make it. Like you can't be mad at companies for making stuff that people want. You know what I mean? Like, but it is kind of frustrating when we see like, oh, like all these unnecessary products and all these unnecessary things. But at the same time, I feel like y'all are kind of dragging it a little bit with like saying that some people's like self-care routines and stuff like that are extra, and like, oh, you don't need that, like that's not self-care, you're being scammed into thinking that this is what you need to do for self-care. A lot of people, like I think it depends on the type of content you consume, because I consume a lot of like yoga, gua sha, like what's the other one, lymphatic drainage, meal prep, like a healthy eating type of things that like for me is self-care. And a lot of those people are not trying to claim at all that like self-care is one or the other. Like, don't let people gaslight you into thinking that your self-care is too much or it's extra, or like you don't need to do that. Like if you want to get your nails done, get your nails done. If you want to get your eyelashes done, get your eyelashes done. If you want to get your brows laminated, get your brows laminated. Get facials if you have the means for it though, you know what I mean? Like some people will definitely go beyond their means when they don't have it to try to keep up with this lifestyle. But like if you have the money and that's something that makes you personally happier and that's like self-care to you, get it done. Like for me, when I get my nails done, I have an extra like pow damn to me. Oh my god, y'all, I forgot to put on my liquid blush before I put my powder on. I always do that. Of course, I'm using the Camo Liquid Blush by e.l.f. This is in the color Gorge Orange. I just have like, I don't have to get my nails done clearly, but it just makes me feel like so much better. Like it just makes me feel like it's like sitting in a chair and getting your nails done. For me, that's like self-care. For me, that's meditation. For me, that's what that is. And when I have the extra money, I'm gonna get it done. Like, or if my boyfriend wants to pay for it, like I'm gonna get it done. What is the problem with that? Like I truly do not understand why some people are trying to guilt women into not wanting to do things that are like they find good for them, that makes them happy, that makes them like feel good. Like why are y'all mad about that? It's a little suspicious, a little screw. Now I'm gonna do my waterline with the e.l.f. waterproof, I think this is. Your skin will never be healthy if you eat like shite. First, I used earlier before I started my makeup the lip balm squeeze by elf, but for me, I have eczema and sensitive skin, so there are just some things that are just not gonna be good for me to eat, and I know that, and I should personally avoid those things. But you have to really be conscious of what you eat and how your body reacts to it. And if you just eat everything under the sun, you're not giving your skin a chance to figure out what it is for you. Most of our skin issues are generated by something that's going on somewhere else in our body. For example, that's why we break out when we are near our period, because it has something to do with our hormones, you know what I mean? Especially if you have like hormonal imbalance. That's why it's really important to get that in check. That way you don't break out as bad when you're on your period. And the way to get things like that in check are almost always tied to food. I don't care what anyone says on the internet about, oh my god, like this product completely changed my life. Products only help surface level issues. Like those pimple patches, for example, right? If you're breaking out, obviously, like if you put a pimple patch on, it's not gonna like stop the breakout from spreading or like stop you from getting pimples in other places. It's gonna treat that one specific pimple. Products topically, surface level, help with a right then and there breakout. But if you continue to break out and you continue to use these same products, they're gonna help, but it's not gonna solve the root of the issue, because the moment you stop using that product, or even like the moment that your hormones just get way out of whack, you're gonna break out. You're gonna continue to break out. So don't let people on the internet fool you into thinking that this product is gonna change your life and this product's gonna do this for you and this product completely changed my skin. Girl, eat good foods, figure out if you're allergic to something. It'll tell you a lot about why you're breaking out. Like for me, for example, I am probably gluten sensitive. I've come to that realization, and I'm definitely sensitive to sugar because I break out in this area of my face, and that means that it's probably tied to a gut issue. So just pay attention to like you and like where you break out, and like just realize that it's more than likely to do with your diet, and it's more than likely to do with like environment and stuff like that. Especially if you have allergies, eczema, or asthma like I do. I have all of those. So for me, especially food will change the game for me. Most perfumes are unnecessarily expensive. Most perfumes, there is absolutely no reason it needs to be that expensive. And I said what I said because some people were like confused. They were like, Tima, like $60 for a perfume is not that bad, when I was talking about the Kylie Cosmetics. By the way, I'm using the Bixi highlighter here. Like, I get that, but for a basic ass scent that I can get literally from like French or from literally any herb perfume is just kind of crazy to me, you know? Like, you will never be able to convince me. There's just no reason that some perfumes should be as expensive as they are. Some perfumes have the excuse in the past of it being like a luxury brand or it being expensive because there's a certain ingredient in it. But for the most part, there is absolutely no reason why perfumes should be that expensive. And I've said what I said, and I'm gonna stick by that. Subtle luxury is the biggest flex like in the entire world. There's just something about someone who is so wealthy, or even like not even just like super wealthy, but there's just something about someone who doesn't seek validation from the things that they own that is just such a flex. Like, there are some people in this world who are rich, like some of the richest people in this world. You would not even know. They own the biggest companies in the world, and they walk the streets, they ride their bike to work, they drive in their Ford, they drive in their Toyota, they wear like 2 shirts throughout the week. Like, they just don't seem like they have money.
Hi, Lauren Gray.
Hi.
How much do you pay for rent in Pennsylvania?
I actually don't rent. I own my house
Oh, you own your home.
and my barn.
Could we have a tour of your home and your barn?
Of course. The house was built in the 1800s. Always wanted an old house, so people were shorter in the 1800s.
Tiny doorway.
So
Look at
tiny
this.
doorways.
I guess we've grown since then.
It's great evolution. This is the summer kitchen. More history. This is what I do. If they cooked in the kitchen, it would get too hot. They had a separate area to cook apart from the main house. This ginormous fireplace back here that's capped now.
Baby Yoda.
I have a lot of those because my dad My dad collects action figures, and sometimes I just walk around my. I didn't know that was there. So.
Oh, it's a guest room.
Yeah.
This is cool.
So it's freezing cold.
Yeah, it's so cold up here.
This is usually where my parents stay. More comic books. That's my dad.
This is a cool house.
There's several Yodas.
Your kitchen is adorable.
They're choosing to live in like a 1-bedroom house that's like modest in like the middle of Kentucky, Missouri or something. You know what I mean? To put a person like that up to a person who's like into flex culture, who like buys a lot of expensive stuff, who goes on these private jets and stuff like that. Like, who do you first of all think is happier? And second of all, who is more truly radiating like good energy, good vibes, like just that person type of energy? The question does arise, what are you doing with the money? But a lot of people do genuinely, like when they're like that, when they don't spend their money unnecessarily, they give back. They like don't, money isn't like a defining like they go out and tip like $1,000 to a waitress. You know what I mean? That is just the biggest flex ever. That is the biggest flex ever. And then like there's just some people in this world that like, and do what you do. You know what I mean? I mean, do what you do. I ain't judging. I'm not judging. But there are just truly some people, and I have like, I know a lot of these people, okay? But there are some people who like truly put their value in what they have. Like, oh my God, like I made like this much money today. Like, girl, nobody cares. And even if they do, like what does that get you? It gets you nothing. It makes maybe people envy you, but like why do you want that type of attention? It reminds me of that episode of the Boondocks when Riley was talking to Huey, and Riley was like, yeah, like these niggas don't envy me, and Huey was like, so that's what you want?
Well, you were looking for hate. Way to go. Shut up, punk. Instead of being Mr. Funny Nigga, why don't you try being Mr. Help a Nigga go jump a nigga and get his chain back?
Anyways, guys, I will try to link all of the products that I used for this look today. It's a very simple, everyday type of look. I didn't even do eyeshadow. I love a look like this. Like, it takes little to no time at all. Yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys thought about my unpopular opinions in the comments down below. It has been your girl Tima, and I'll see you on another video soon. Bye, guys.